The best part of every show had to be the last one in my advent calendar. So I hope you enjoy this and the bonus video tomorrow. Let's see what is behind door number 24.
In this ranking I will talk about the villains of the show, or better the adversaries of Emily. Because our heroine had to fight against all of them in one way or another. The worst of them were with no doubt the Initiative.
After the Graysons framed your father, American Initiative handled the cover-up.
This organization that was responsible for the terrorist attack that Conrad financed all these years ago was a real deception for everyone who hoped Season 2 would become a far greater villain than the Graysons. This mysterious group and its employees were just too ambiguous and mysterious to be a real threat for Emily and her friends. We never saw them actually do something bad like killing someone in cold blood. All they did was blackmail the Graysons. They even did not have Emily at their radar. Helen Crawley, who was in contact with Aiden, never made that connection. And Emily's biggest secret, her identity swoop, was something they even did not detect. Even though Frank, the security chief of the Graysons, found out about this in Season 1. All the bad things that happened, like Jack almost dying and Formander dying on that boat, were again Conrad's deeds and another pair of villains. The Ryan brothers made their appearance in Season 2, and from the beginning Kenny and his brother looked shady. Maybe this was just too tame in comparison to Season 1 and the deeds of the Graysons, but this threat never struck for me. Okay, Kenny colluding with Conrad and his threat to kill Formander were very real. But he did not stand a chance against Emily. And even Formander was far smarter and more capable to fight than this dude.
You so much as blink and you're dead.
What the hell are you?
You'll never know.
Bye-bye now.
Another deception was the new great enemy from Season 4. After Conrad's death, it had to be Victoria to take the crown as the big bad. So I was very much disappointed when they brought up this new guy who was described by David as this.
There's a man. He's more dangerous than Conrad. You know what this man's capable of? Years ago, his nephew was in a car accident. He's crippled. A week later, the drunk driver disappeared, along with his wife, his parents, his children, and his brother. The bodies were found in a hunting shack. They've been tortured for 6 weeks.
Yet for me, and surely most of the viewers, he was just a mobster throwing empty threats. I mean, he managed to kidnap David's daughter and lover by accident and then not even harmed them. In the last season, Emily sent Conrad an ear to make her point, and she tortured the man who worked for Malcolm. Yet he has not even the balls to torture either Victoria or Amanda to make a point. And instead of punish David or Jack for the murder of his daughter by taking Amanda's life or killing Jack's boy, he just talks about it and gives this big speech. Wasting time and giving Jack and Ben the opportunity to save the day. What a great threat.
So now, we do it my way. In pieces. It's easier to burn the evidence.
Come on. Stab me like a coward.
Coward!
Let her go!
More threatening because of their unpredictable character were the women on revenge. Cara Clarke, for example, turned out to be a great danger for Aiden and the Graysons. Course she tried to revenge David and her second husband Gordon Murphy, aka the white-haired man.
I have bad news.
Oh yes, that does seem to be going around.
Shut the door. Kara, whatever demons you're struggling with, we can get you the best help possible.
The only demons I'm struggling with are standing right in front of me.
Looking for this?
And Formander was introduced as some kind of a threat for Emily, cause she did not want to be controlled by her. Later, her jealousy and susceptibility to manipulation made her an ally of Tyler.
Even after everything I showed her about how you played her for a fool, she still wouldn't believe me. You must have really done a number on her head.
Let me talk to her.
Yeah, go for it. She's actually right behind you.
Who's the fool now?
Listen to me.
No, you listen to me. I've sacrificed everything for you. I gave you my name. And what did you do? You took away the one thing in my entire life that meant anything to me.
I had to protect Jack from all of this.
Yet in season 2 she grew more calm as a young mother. Though I loved how she defended Declan and her little family when she got to know about the Ryans.
What do you want?
To give you a chance.
Which is more than you deserve.
Oh, yeah? Chance to what?
To get out of here before you bleed. Either you and your brother pack it up and leave tonight.
Or what?
Or you're gonna wish you'd taken me up on my offer.
Her furious attempt to blackmail Conrad was one of the greatest scenes with Margarita Lavieva.
You couldn't be more wrong about that.
Where did you get this?
It's not important. The fact that I have it is.
So it has been you all this time.
I haven't even begun to make you and your family suffer for what they've done. You never, ever utter the name Porter again. Or I promise I will take a wrecking ball to every bit of this pathetic excuse for a life you've chosen.
Another ally who turned into a foe was Takeda. Yet his character changed much due to the recast in Season 2. Season 1 Takeda, portrayed by Hiroyuki Sanada, was far more nuanced. This one I could see as a real threat for Emily, even more because the actor was younger. And he had a far greater presence than his predecessor. Askell is not an easy choice because he just seems to be Victoria's lapdog. More than Conrad, he seems just to exist to please her, helping Victoria in both of her wars against Emily and her former husband. And when Emily blackmails to get a confession from Conrad, he has merely no other choice than to do as she wishes. Okay, he shot Oscar Chapman and was involved in the murder of Aiden's father, but he seemed merely tame in comparison to Conrad. Especially if you think about his death and the empty threat he threw at Conrad before. And him trying to trick Emily was not that much successful either.
The only thing Emily wanted to discuss was your family's secrets. For you, I will find out why.
I'm grateful to you, Pascal.
That's funny. Seeing as your new partner was married to him for over 20 years. Which means you're playing me. Tell Victoria nice try.
Hey, sure. You want to go down that road? Because it goes back 20 years.
Few sounds are sweeter than the crumbling of your fellow man.
I have everything handled. There won't be any fallout. Just stay calm, and it'll all be fine.
You recall our chats from 1993?
So that's what you have on me. You recorded our conversations.
Every word. Which means I control you.
Many think she was the worst adversary for Emily. But for me this show was always about the women being smarter than their male adversaries. So like with Victoria and Emily, it was intriguing to watch how these two women fought each other. I do not necessarily think they both women truly wanted to harm each other, which was maybe the problem of this vendetta. Because Victoria, in the last consequence, was willing to kill Emily. Yet Margot did not. And I think if she did not lost the baby, she would have never colluded with Victoria and White Gold. You must give her credit for trying to save Emily. And I can relate to her perspective. Especially with Victoria in mind, who of course spun the story to her advantage. Like in all TV shows, how Margot tries not the easiest solution for this conflict by talking openly with Emily. Cause in fact all three women are very similar. Which was the thrill in this because all three had a point. Emily did despicable things during her vendetta against the Graysons, and so did Margot. She still was mourning Daniel's and her baby's death. So she was a soft target for Victoria's manipulation. And Emily did little to defend herself because of this stupid idea of her father, which gave Victoria a new reason to hate Emily.
I can't imagine how painful this is.
No, you can't. Tell me why. What crimes did Daniel commit that he not only paid with his life, but that you expect me to tell the most vile, despicable lies about him? Is my son gave his life for your daughters. Now he's gone. And I will die before I desecrate his name like that. What kind of monster would make me? No, you're right. You're no victim. Daniel's a victim, Margot's a victim. You should have told the truth about Daniel.
That was a decision we all made together. I didn't want this.
Oh, feel free to delude yourself. But one thing I know is that you have the blood of my son and my grandchild on your hands.
But honoring Danielle's memory is something I have to do.
Emily hasn't left a trail of evidence.
Not to worry. I have a way to get the evidence I need. It will be me who destroys her.
These two targets from season 1 had far more potential to harm Emily. Even more because both tried to find out Emily's secrets.
We all have our South Fork in, Emily. I just made it my mission to find yours.
I know the plot with this photo from Amanda at the Grayson's Sylvester party was lame, and they really nerved us by bringing it up time and time again. Yet Lydia made a point by hinting out that Emily has much to lose if her secret got out, that she set her sights on the Grayson long before she came back to the Hamptons and began her revengenda. And Lydia was smart enough to beat Emily in her own game by blackmailing. She just underestimated how far Emily was willing to go to resume her revengenda and guard her secret. Mason, on the other hand, managed to beat her by colluding with Victoria and was the only one of her targets who get away. First by blackmailing Emily with the one secret he did not find out himself. I bet Emily did regret her louse tone in season 3. And then in the last season by switching teams, helping Victoria to take revenge on Emily. I think in the end this harmless journalist was the most dangerous threat of Emily besides the Graysons, cause he was someone no one thought about. Emily and Nolan thought he was happy with his retreat and they had plenty of time to wait until his book was finished. I think the writers wanted to underline his power cause he truly had the wit and the capability to take Amanda down with his words. By forming the people's opinion about Emily. Something I think they failed to show us with Margot.
I want the life I deserve.
Then name the place and I'll set it up. I'll get you a new identity, everything that you want.
Has Amanda Clarke forgotten Emily Thorne already dangled that rancid carrot? You think I was happy in the Maldives? It's sinking into the ocean, for God's sake. Oh, and have I mentioned that while water rose above my ankles, I started writing another tome? I'm calling it One Big Lie. The Amanda Clarke story.
It'll be your word against mine.
Think about it. A book written by a dead man? People will eat that up. It's sure to blow the lid off this good girl image you trick people into believing. At the very least, it'll open up a police inquiry. It'll haunt you the rest of your days. You have 2 days to clear my name, or I send the first 50 pages to publishers, newspapers, and Homeland Security.
Even though he died early in the first season, I think Frank was maybe one of the most dangerous adversaries for Emily. Cause if Formanda did not have intervened, it would have been game over for Emily. Not only that he discovered her secret identity, he also knew that she was behind everything bad that happened to the Graysons in the last months. Emily tried to frame Lydia for it, but Frank was too smart to take this bait. He knew Lydia could not be that smart to pull this off. Especially after Emily had him fired for his attempt to kill Lydia. Sure, there were much clichés involved here, but he was the first who found out on his own what Emily was hiding. You can say she and Nolan were not careful enough and still had to learn, but Emily was trained for this, and guarding her secret surely was her first priority. So Frank was pretty good in his job.
Whose idea was it to make the video?
What? You mean the double rainbow thing? Hell if I know, guy's a genius.
How much is Conrad offering you?
Conrad? No, wait. You're making a mistake. It's not Conrad. You want? Frank is here. What? He knows it was me that made the tape.
How?
Because he is better at this than we are. The guy was about to blow my kneecaps off. You're on your own.
You looking for this? This is some serious firepower, Miss Thorne. Seems unnecessary.
Well, that depends on what I'm up against. You work for the Graysons, don't you?
No, not anymore. Lost my job. Due to some strange events. There's been a lot of that going around since you came to town. 2 years at Allenwood Juvenile Detention, conviction for assault with a deadly weapon.
Those files were sealed.
At great expense, no doubt.
I was just a kid. I'm not that girl anymore.
But you know what? You can clean yourself up. But zebras don't change their stripes. First, I thought Victoria was just paranoid about you, but not anymore. There's more to your story, little lady. And I'm gonna find out what it is.